Hey viewers, welcome back to Wes's Corner. Hope everybody's doing well today. So today I want to discuss struggles with identity. And I don't just mean like an identity crisis in the traditional sense, like who am I, what is my purpose in life. What I mean is far deeper, referring to gender identity after a diagnosis of a certain physical or mental health condition. The identity of who and what we are on the deepest level. First, like always, I want to say like, comment, and subscribe to be notified of, and click the bell to be notified of future updates and future videos. I want to get right into it. I want to discuss first gender and sexual identity, specifically LGBTQ+. So, first of all, I want to preface this with, as a cisgender heterosexual male, I really shouldn't be speaking on this. It's not my place. But at the same time, I do want to say that I am sympathetic to the LGBTQ plus population and their struggles. No one should have to remain in any sort of closet, whether you are bisexual, lesbian, gay, transgender, non-binary, if you're Native American, Two-Spirit, or anything else under that umbrella. You should not have to hide who you are. You should not have to hide that identity. It's a complicated subject, but it doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be. As far as sexual orientation, gender orientation, because there are differences between the two of those things, believe it or not. You shouldn't have to be scared of who you're attracted to. If you're bisexual, pansexual, gay or lesbian, or otherwise, you should not risk or have to risk feeling less than anyone else because of that. Because all love is love, and it's a human rights thing. You deserve to be treated with respect, regardless of who you find yourself attracted to. As far as transgender and non-binary individuals, you should have the same rights as everybody else. You should not have to risk any sort of pushback just because your gender does not match up with your biological sex at birth, whether you were assigned female at birth, assigned male at birth, or otherwise. Gender is simply not just what's between your legs. It is a concept of identity. Many people do not feel like they were born as the appropriate sex. So their gender doesn't match, and they take steps to make themselves feel more comfortable. And you'd be surprised at how often that occurs. It goes reported a fair amount, but can you imagine how much more it goes unreported? Why would someone's orientation or gender identity go unreported? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but there's a heavy stigma behind it. Friends and family may shun them. They may feel like they're an outcast from society. Just a simple fact that many forms and documents that you fill out list only male and female for gender, which is not right. Some workplaces and schools are now more progressive in today's day and age, thank goodness. But that's not always been the case. There are a startling number of suicides and attempted suicides from LGBTQ plus youth. It's, I believe, for the younger age, and I'm going to put the information up on the screen for the younger gap, or younger group, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 8%. And the older age group, it's something like 19% of LGBTQ plus individuals have attempted suicide. Now, to that end, for those struggling with those identities, there are resources available, specifically for the LGBTQ plus population. There's the Trevor Project. That is one of the best charities related to that. There is the Human Rights Campaign, but they have some issues as well. I will link to both of them in the description. And there are various other smaller organizations and organizations outside the United States that I unfortunately am not too familiar with. But if you are a resident in another country, I would imagine there are resources available to you. If not, I hope you can get somewhere where there are. Deeper than that is intersectionality, which that's going to be something I get into in a different video, but that's essentially where a population might feel even more oppression if they're say for example a black person that is also transgender. That's where intersectionality comes in, where you're basically facing multiple identity struggles at once, where you struggle to deal with the oppression and hate you deal with because of your skin color and your race, and because of your orientation or your gender identity. And that's something we'll get into deeper on another video. I'd like to explore that much more in depth. But I will leave resources for all this in the video. There are also those that struggle with their identity after they are diagnosed with, well, one is dissociative identity disorder, commonly referred to as multiple personality disorder, and it's much deeper than that. It's not just multiple personalities. There are what I believe they refer to as alters, basically different personas in one body. There are people struggling with identity that have schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder, where you hear voices in your head telling you to do things. It's a lot deeper than that. People with bipolar disorder, like myself, it's going between mania and depression. that can cause you to struggle. Like, who am I? Am I just, this person goes from one part of the spectrum to the other in that regard? Or am I more than my diagnosis? And you are. You are more than your diagnosis. You are more than your orientation, more than your gender identity. Your identity makes up who you are, but who you are makes up more than just that. So if you are struggling to find out who you are, there are resources that can help. If you are feeling shunned and outcast by your friends and family because you're transgender or non-binary, there are resources that can help. If you are struggling because you are bisexual, pansexual, gay, or lesbian, there are resources that can help. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing to cure. There is no issue with you. You were born that way. To quote Lady Gaga, you were born this way. And I hope that whatever identity issues you are struggling with, that you can find peace and comfort by becoming who you want to be. It is okay to be gay, to be lesbian, to be bisexual, pansexual, transgender, non-binary, two-spirit. It is okay to have bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, dissociative identity disorder. It is okay to be autistic, to have ADHD, to be neurodiverse. It is okay to be Black, Asian, Pacific Islander, Spanish, Mexican, Portuguese. It is okay to be who you feel like you should be. It is okay to be born the way that you were born. It is okay to be transitioning from male to female or female to male. Transgender men are real men. Transgender women are real women. There is no asterisk. There is no qualifier. If you identify in a certain way, then you are that way. You don't need to prove it to anybody, as long as you are happy with who you are. And if you're not, well, my friend, I hope you are able to find happiness. That is all for this episode of Wes's Corner. Join me next time where I discuss finding resources to help you with your mental health struggles. Once again, thank you for visiting Wes's Corner. Have a good day. Goodbye.